Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Coffee with Mirko. We're brewing an AeroPress before we're gonna start talking with our future guests. Today is a very special episode as usual, and we're gonna talk with the coffee man, Sasha Sestic. So we'll just flip this and then we'll be able to get started and have an amazing time. So feel free to drop some questions, and yeah, we'll be getting started real soon. I'm just gonna flip this and then I'll sit down and hey Sasha, I see you. I'll just get you on in 1 second. Feeling a little bit of pressure of brewing coffee in front of Sash, but that's all right. I'm sure he'll forgive me. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comment box below. We'll go through mine first, but as we go, I'll read through yours, and I'm sure we're gonna have a good time. So 60 minutes is always not enough, but we'll try our best to give you guys some value. And apologies for the crazy hair, but as you know, hairdressers are shut these days, so it's all right. All right. First coffee of the morning, and I'm having it with Sasha Sestic. So, well, let's bring him in. I got some coffee here. All right, here we go. Here it is. Looking like a wild man, you say, Ben? Yeah, pretty crazy here. But I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna put the cap. So we're just waiting for Sasha. The connection is, always tricky. It's always a little congested here in Australia, I find. Sometimes we have better connection with overseas overseas guests. Like yesterday with Steve Layton, it was impeccable, and for some reason Australia connection is always tricky. But hey everybody, raising art, Joel, I'll say hi to all of you whilst we'll figure out what's happening here. Juliana, Suta, Coffee Traveler, Dax is in the house. Let me just send this again. Passionate about coffee. I'm sure you're laughing about me not wearing a cap today. Oh, here it is.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Sasha?
How are you, mate? Very good.
Good. First things first, how's you and your family doing with everything that's going on? Are you guys safe and sound?
Yeah, things have been good. Yeah, the best they can be. So I guess when it comes to family, that's been good.
Good.
It's been nice to be with the family and to be closer than before. So it's been good. Yeah, I'm also struggling with my hairstyle as well. So yeah, let's take it, two of us.
That's all right. And yeah, hopefully, slowly, I see, Canberra and Sydney, Melbourne a little bit less, but reopening from restrictions. So we'll slowly go back towards normal, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel like that. It's like kind of like a soccer match. Half time is over. We've lost 10-0, and now we are about to enter the second half, and we can see some opportunities, play some tactics, and start preparing ourselves to have a good comeback.
I resonate with you, as two Europeans love our soccer, so I get you.
Yeah.
So let's just get started here. But you're considered one of the most influential coffee people in our industry. But how did you actually start your coffee journey?
Okay, so I've said this story so many times, but I'm gonna try to make it better this time than before, right? That's what it is.
Best shot this year.
Yeah. So yeah, after I came to Australia after quite few wars back in Serbia, Bosnia, Croatia. And the main reason was Australia is because of handball. I had saw the opportunity I can play for Sydney 2000 Olympic Games, which I did with my brother. And after Sydney 2000, our budget in handball was cut quite dramatically. And I had options to either go to Europe, play handball, and stay here to do something with me. Chose hospitality to study while I was studying English, and done a lot of work in hospitality, different jobs, and came across coffee machine. My wife actually gave me the job. She told me they're looking for barista in a bakery, and I tried so many things, none of it worked. And I said, well, I might give this a go as well. I didn't last long in other fields of hospitality, and somehow I fell in love with it instantly. And I didn't fall in love with the taste. That's for sure. But I really fell in love in creating something, talking to people, and maybe providing something that I make to customer, and being able to have talk to them and see their reaction, and actually see the smiles, and that makes me happy. Obviously, the compliment. But even if I see this face and they go, oh my God, this was bad, well, that was still okay sign. It's positive criticism. It was a terrible coffee. I need to be better. So.
And were you drinking coffee back then, or you weren't really?
No, I was not actually. No, but I think first coffees I had, I was like 23, 24.
Same here. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
I was making coffee for maybe 12 months, and I did not enjoy taste. I loved everything around it. But I was wondering, why would people drink a long black? I make them a long black, and I said, this was really good. I said, well, if it must be good, I'm going to give it a go, and I'll try it. And I tried it, and I said, no, this is terrible. So, it was it wasn't love on the first sight. It was sort of gradually growing on me, and it still is, till today.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I mean, obviously, it was a long journey from there. And, we all know what you did in 2015. For the people who don't know, which will be surprising to me, but you won the World Barista Champion. And, it's like, how defining was that moment for you and your career?
Yeah. I mean, winning WBC, it's huge. It's a dream of anyone that competes, obviously. But I think what really gave a lot of value to 2015 is how hard it was for me and my team to actually, number one, to win Australia, because that did not happen overnight. There was only I guess our team internally know what we've gone through over 5, 6, 7 years to actually win first Australian comp. And having so many failures prior, and kind of being so determined to come back, that really showed me more confidence, not only when we win comp, but then everything is possible. Because I was not very talented in the competitions. Like, I would go there for first 3 years and finish last in the semi-finals in Australia every year. It took me 4 years to make the finals. But now baristas from our company, they compete first year and they make the finals. So it's kind of so much easier for a lot of them. And I said, wow. And I'm happy for them, of course. That's the hard work that you do at the beginning, and you clear these parts for next generations to make it easier so they can go further.
Sure.
That win was, I guess, not only for me, it was actually for our city, for Canberra, but also for communities that their specialty coffee is not popular, and maybe not competing against, powerhouse of Melbourne or powerhouse of Sydney. It's a big confidence boost for all of us. But I think also, yes, we can win WBC, but the way we won it, and we still look back and we feel proud. After that routine, carbonic maceration was born, which is used commonly now. OCD was born as well. So we feel like that we did not just win the trophy, we left something behind us, and that we feel gives a greater value to what we've done.
And a little curiosity, which I don't know how many people know, the day of the final, you were also not feeling that well.
Yeah, yeah, that's icing on the cake as well. To be in hospital till midnight, 40 plus degrees temperature and low blood pressure and God knows what. Yeah, that just spiced it up a little bit more.
No, I rewatched the routine, and you looked that you were fine. So you obviously covered it up quite well. And you mentioned OCD, but also you do own a coffee, Project Origin, and there's a lot going on. How do you juggle all these projects at once and maintain life-work balance? And also curiosity, which I might just not know, or I just never asked the right people. But what does ONA stands for? The actual name?
All right, so I'll give you an answer for that. It's a silly name actually when you look at it. So when I started ONA, originally Kona, for me the only thing was important is let's make coffee better, the best I possibly can. So name was secondary, logo was secondary as well. And one of our baristas said, "Oh, there's this Hawaiian coffee. It's called Kona coffee. Kona. It's a really cool name. It's interesting." And back in the days, Jamaica Blue was very popular. Kona was very popular, more because they were expensive, not necessarily. I don't really resonate with that taste at the moment as much. So we thought, well, Jamaica Blue there's already quite a few coffee shops in Australia, or used to be. So we can be Kona. So we came up with the name Kona, and organized my graphic designer to make a logo. I remember I had a very small budget, but somehow I scrambled across $1,000. So I said, this is the budget for logo, so make it awesome. I expected a lot for $1,000 because that was a lot. Anyway, after a couple of months, he came up with a logo, Kona Coffee. We opened up the very first shop, and a few months later, received an email with very threatening email from a coffee association in Hawaii, Kona Coffee, saying that you're using this name, you shouldn't be using it, remove it immediately. So I couldn't spend another $1,000 for designer, so I just told him, can you please take K out of the logo? And I'll pay you $50 for this. So that's how I was born. Yeah. So it's a funny story, and few people tell me sometimes in the company, you know what, you shouldn't be sharing it. Like it's a bit silly.
No, I think it's a cool story.
It is silly, but I'm proud of it because we all make mistakes, and it's nice to also show people that sometimes name can be whatever it is. It's what you do to make the name, and you accepted it with your actions, with what you do, and with your identity, and name comes secondary. And I think it's sort of, prove to I guess what we've done, and possibly priorities as well. Priority is always, delicious coffee as best as we can make.
100%. And so with all these projects at hand, and plus all the ones that we don't know about, because they're top secret, how do you manage balance between the whole dance?
Yeah. So balance is a difficult one. It's a very difficult one. This is probably why I like espresso so much, because every time when I dial in espresso, I'm really chasing for that balance. And when I get it, I enjoy it, but then I kind of wanna make it better. And it's the same with the life balance and coffee and balance, and as a career as well. Like I think it's okay to accept it. It's not gonna be perfect, and it's fine. But as long as we know where we're off balance, and we can work towards to it to sort of reach that, and then that's okay. I understood that after we won 2015, that my life will be out of the balance, and I was aware of that, and that's okay. Being a couple hundred days overseas for 4 years, that's not balanced. But having a strong team that I can leave behind, that was sort of conscious decision that I can go and travel and support the communities and in the same time create networks and inspire and get inspired. That was really important for me as a coffee professional to be able to use that opportunity. So I can actually bring back to the company as well and my entire team and, inspire them in the same time. By having a family, having 2 kids, wife, we married almost for 20 years, we knew that I'm going to push balance there, and I did. But she's the most patient person in the world, most caring. So I knew I could, we kind of pushed it to the limit. And the limit maybe was 3 years, being 3.5 years, being completely out of the balance. But then after 3.5 years, now, we have a different priorities. Get cool family, traveling. We grew the team to the level that they can manage many things because Sasha was not there to help with the decisions. So we managed to create many leaders within the company. So I don't necessarily need to go too much in depth in project origin, a wholesale or retail shops or new projects. So somehow we're forced for me to find my own balance and also for leaders within company to find their balance as well and kind of pass it on. Things changed a lot with COVID-19. It's different set of thinking and there's everything has completely changed for all of us in the company and myself with my role as well. And we needed to be able to think fast and reshuffle everything we do, all of the routine. What was important yesterday, it's not important today, in a way. And what was goal 2 months ago, it's not a goal today as well. And that also has challenged us to go into a lot of unknowns, but also challenged us to sort of start chasing that new balance.
Of course.
So it's been it's been interesting.
Yeah, I think innovation is definitely a big word across businesses during this pandemic period. I think there's a lot of positives as long as health is given to us. So that's the biggest victory for sure. Reading through the comments, at the coffee table says that ona also means she or her in Serbian. And
Yep.
coffee is a female gender too, so that makes sense. There you go. We got a better story.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It means she as in your wife. There you go. You're married to coffee and your wife, maybe. And then we got passionate about coffee asking, morning, Mr. Sasha, how are you? What does specialty coffee means to you? So many different answers from everyone.
That's a good question. To be honest, specialty coffee for me means integrity, enriching other people's lives, innovating, and also chasing excellence. It's pretty much all of the above. To me, it's not really taste. It's not 80 points. It's not as black and white as it is. I prefer to make it difficult and complicated for me. But making it complicated and difficult means, we can keep sort of striving to do that and keep chasing it. We get complacent if you think, we've achieved it, we're good. From the moment you think it's all good, and we go downhill. And I prefer not to be in that state of mind. So that's what it is.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that sometimes we often get caught up into words, and there's a whole debate around the word specialty. So it's always tricky as well, because you're right. It's not just about points. I agree with you. And sticking with people and the industry, I always ask this question because I think I like to hear different perspectives from different professionals. What kind of words of wisdom or advice do you have for people who are stuck in a good job that they don't like and they want to pursue a coffee career? Because that's a real passion.
So I think, like, number one, you want to understand with a lot of clarity, this is what you want to do. I'm passionate about so many other things. I love boats. and I'm passionate about boats. I would not ever work in the boat industry because I enjoy it as a hobby. So it's important for people to determine, is this a hobby? Do you enjoy doing it as your secondary thing, or is this career you want to choose? At the beginning, it's very romantic for everyone to say, I love coffee, this is so much fun, I'd love to do it. But then you get hit. Once you decide, hey, I'm going to do this, you get hit so many times, and you get thrown around. And the big question is there, is that passion really true and honest? Because if it is true, you will get up. No matter how many times someone tells you you're not good at it or this is not good enough, if you love it so much, for you, this is going to be another reason why you're going to work harder and why you're going to try to be better and how you're going to, solve these issues and solutions. Majority of things that sort of maybe Honor Coffee is famous, or I'm famous for innovations, they didn't come because I want to make something cool for the people because I know coffee and then now I can do this as well. They came from the point that, I could not distribute coffee easily enough. My coffee was channeling and I need to do something about it. My coffee is not consistent enough and flavors are not as expressive, they're not strong enough. And, people don't enjoy the taste of my coffee. I actually need to do something about it on a farm level so I can highlight these flavors. Hence why CM was born. So what I'm trying to say, once you really understand that that's your true passion and you're happy to work hard, then just go for it. Don't wait for tomorrow. Plan big, but start today and start small. But start. Don't keep planning. And always look for the solutions. If there's a wall in front of you, find a way to break it. There's no wall that you cannot break.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I like what you said about just start, because I think I read somewhere once and a really good quote. You can read so much about doing push-ups, but you gotta start doing the push-ups. So no matter how much you read about them and techniques, you just gotta start. And yeah, I like that. And we got a question from Blue Coffee Lab. What do you think about the new normal in specialty coffee after the pandemic? What does that gonna look like?
Good question. Should I be thinking coffee shops, roasting, or farms?
I think coffee shop first. Probably that's the start.
Thank you. I don't know where my brain needs to go for the moment. Okay. So yeah, coffee shops. I feel that we're gonna be. I think we need to fix many things in the coffee shops, and pretty much everything, because we've been talking a lot. Coffee prices are not high enough, and our industry is suffering a lot now. Everyone is suffering, and it's perfect timing now to actually fix all of the things that we wanted to fix. So that's number one. Like, I feel that in order to go forward, we need to go backwards first so we can go forward. I use this analogy a lot when I do coaching as well. I feel like I'm coaching someone now. But to me, and this is what we've been doing, we've been really looking back, 1 year, 2 years, 4 years. And maybe why was it easier for us to run coffee shops 7 years ago compared with now? And, first thing comes across prices. Second thing comes across, systems, back of the house systems, what we do. Sometimes we get complacent that, we can just buy this, or we can do this 10 subscriptions that we don't even need. And I looked at the balance sheet and said, why do we have so many subscriptions in this shop? Why are we paying so much money for no reason? So what I think what's happening now, and people are investing time into better systems, back of the house systems, to run more sustainable business. We actually becoming more diligent with productivity, with possibly pricing, that it is fair and right. So we are providing a great quality at the right price. Many people compare us in the industry. We are like a fine dining cafe style of fine dining restaurant. And I think that's a problem because we're providing a great food and great service and great everything, yet we have really cheap coffee prices. And then when something like this hits us, many coffee shops are closing after 1 week or after 2 weeks. They kind of, oh, I'm not going to come back. So it's not only issue with the COVID-19. COVID-19 is icing on a cake to what's been happening in the industry. But the biggest issue is what's kind of inside of the cake, what we have been building and doing over the years. And we need to fix that. Like we are increasing the prices as we actually have as of yesterday, because we want to make sure that there's a healthy industry behind us for everyone. There's a healthy career for baristas. And also our customers can continue enjoying better and better coffees year by year. So that's the first thing. But the second thing, of course, a lot of innovations where we can, look at simplifying these things. Ordering apps that people, when they're at home, they want to order their coffee, quick takeaway coffee. They don't feel like talking to barista this morning, but they can simply go on app and order their coffee that particular time. That helps everyone. Helps customer to get what they want earlier, so they don't need to wait. In the same time, if we can sort of encourage that market a little bit, it can help with the wages as well, and cost of goods, etc. Bring new revenue that we not necessarily had before. So I see that we're not going to necessarily be going forward to the level that we need to have $30, $50, $60 coffees. We need to do basics well, and we need to provide these basics with being humans again, providing that beautiful hospitality, being humble, being here for each other, and coffee sort of becomes secondary. And not as a star that needs to taste like this or like that. I'm quite excited to see this industry going back to probably one of the reasons why I fell in love with the industry, that I mentioned to you, that personal connection with the people, it's most important. And the taste and flavors is just a result of that relationship.
Yeah, and I also think that, connecting to what you just said, lots of people have been stuck at home for a month or 2 or 6 weeks. So that barista connection would really be important. I think that for a long time we have been so focused in the cup or on the machine or in the milk jug. And we have forgotten a little bit that we are in the people industry first. Because without the people, we don't have the cherries, we don't have the coffee, but also we don't have the customers to serve coffee that we're making. So I think people could become a new priority. And like you said, going a little bit back to make 2 steps forward, 100%. Yeah, I like what you said. I think, very, very smart. I don't know what you're saying. We got a couple of questions here. Obviously, you don't have to answer all of them. It's a tricky one, but what was the biggest mistake you made in business and in your career?
Many mistakes, yeah. Maybe the biggest one that I probably regret, like all of the mistakes I made, I'm okay with them because they help me learn and understand and be better. So I don't kind of look at them as mistakes. I look at many things I failed at the time was learning opportunity. But mistake that I kind of made over and over again to myself, I should get it. I should have fixed it earlier. When I feel that I need to fix something and fix the problem or the issue, many times I let the issue fix itself. I was not gained enough to step in and to deal with that problem on time. And because I haven't done it on time, I've sort of paid the price quite a few times. So that's probably the bigger. And whatever that is, whatever change we feel we need to make, and whether that change is that change for better, that, hey, I'm a coffee shop now and I really want to get into roasting, and you're thinking for years and years and years that you want to roast, and finally after 4 years, you kind of grow and say, hey, I'm going to roast. And then when you start roasting, you say, why did I not do this 3 years ago? or other way around, you have a continuous problem that you keep dealing with, and you just don't. You maybe a staff member that does not go with your alliance or your vision or your values, and you just kind of wait for them to quit. So you don't need to, step in and do your job. So I've done it in the past a lot. And that's not helping anyone. Like if someone is doing the job for 2 years that they don't enjoy, they don't like, you're actually not helping these people at all. Like you're wasting 2 years of their life by being with you, doing something they hate. And you might as well help them.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so you might as well have that conversation and help them and say, let's talk. And lately I have few of these phone calls with some people that have been with us for 2 or 3, 4 years, amazing people, and you can see that they just don't enjoy it. Like they're in a coffee shop, they get stressed, they don't like it, it's too much for them. And after we had a few chats, like he said, one of these employees called me and said, Sash, I'm so happy you're the first person I'm telling this, but I've decided to change my career. I'm so excited. I'm reading the books about this new career I want to do, and I'm doing this, and I've never been happier. And thank you for helping me. And I said, wow, this gives my job even more value. To actually make these calls and make it beneficial for them and for our company as well.
I absolutely understand what you're saying. Yeah, and I feel the same because I recently, just under a year ago, started my own business, and I know what I need to fix. I need to hire more people, and I've stopped myself because, oh no, I'll wait more. I'll wait a little longer. This and that, but it's just like the push-ups.
Yeah,
you just gotta do them.
Yeah. There was a lovely question underneath, if you don't mind reading out. I missed out who wrote it, but they wrote that someone wants to compete or looking at competing, and if they cannot afford CM Geishas for competing.
Yes, I saw that now. Yeah.
I'd love to answer that. So I feel that we don't need to have CM Geishas to win competitions, and I felt that a while ago. When I started coaching after winning WBC, I've coached Hugh Kelly, and this is exactly what we've done. We went on that train because we were the first ones to develop CM Geishas in Panama with Jameson Savage, and we've used these coffees for a couple of years. But in 2017, 2018, I said to myself that this is becoming, gentlemen's or like prestige competition, that only people that have money, that can afford to compete, they compete. And gap between passion and drive and love for competition and the ones that can actually afford it's becoming bigger and bigger. So I've decided to, coach someone that, not necessarily had this financial status, and also someone that kind of wanted to avoid geishas, which is Agnieszka. We've developed the coffee in Panama, which is not very expensive coffee, and I think her coffee was probably cheapest coffee out of the top 15 coffees. It is a CM, but being CM does not mean it's expensive coffee. We still have that coffee on a sale, and in our warehouse. It's a carbonic maceration diamond. It's very approachable. It's $10 to $15 to $25 Australian, and it goes maximum $20 USD. So prices are not high, and she managed to win WBC with that particular coffee. So to answer your question, no, you don't need to have geisha. You don't need to have a CM as well, but you obviously need to know your coffee. And there's million talented farmers like this farm that we found in Ethiopia, and there's million of them all over the world that you can sort of find a way to connect either with a farmer or with the people that understand green. To go out and win with these coffees, and I think that's one of the great things. If you can achieve the win with these coffees that did not have a value before, not only you leaving the trophy with you, but you're actually leaving a greater story that you can encourage other people to sort of continue that race. And Aga is a live proof for that. That it's the first female to win. First, Poland. That country never won before. She was self-funded, and she did not use geishas. So she's kind of one of these underdogs that ticked all the boxes that not necessarily were ticked in the past, and she proved the world that it is possible. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that. And yeah, I remember I met Aga last year, and someone asked a question about you and how special the relationship that you guys have. And yeah, it's amazing to see this. And like you said, it's about starting something. It's like paving it for the next person to maybe don't use a geisha, and just to keep innovating and keep pushing the boundaries, for sure. No, 100%.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying that people should not be using geisha. They should be doing what they believe it's the best for them. If you have someone that's really into R&D, or like they are representing maybe being a hospitality side of the barista, and that's what they care, then they should use any coffee that suits them and their model, regardless. Yeah, I think it's each for their own, but the field is open for everyone to do, for people to explore how they wish to explore.
Yeah, 100%. And in regards to coffee, you cover the whole spectrum, because you barista, roaster, consultant, farm, and the list goes on. If you had to pinpoint, what's the part that you most love about what you do?
Oh, farms by far. My dog is here, Teddy. So, silly dressed. Anyway, farms by far. That's the reason I do what I do. I love what I do. I possibly for the reason that when you, as you mentioned, when you've been in industry for so long, and you see all of these different fields, I feel that our industry, we all depend on each other as a part of the chain. And I feel that farms are the weakest link. And, I come from a small country, from a small city, always been underdogs. I always go for the underdogs. And maybe this is the reason why I'm so connected with the farm, because there's still a lot of work to be done on that level, in order to make it more balanced, to make it more like even field. So possibly, when I look at a farm, when I taste coffee, like it just resonates with me as well. What is it that we can do in order to improve that coffee? And sometimes we work with the farmers that have been trying to make the farm sustainable for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, and we go there for a week and we change it all. And within a 7 days, we can add value to that farmer that they not necessarily could for previous 10 years. It makes us feel good, of course, because you're not only getting more delicious coffees, you're kind of changing that life for that entire community for sort of forever.
Yeah.
And that gives me, always put smiles on my face, and gives all of us a lot of satisfaction on what we do and why do we do what we do. And when every time when it's difficult and really hard, like these times, you kind of always look back to reasoning why you love what you love, and you go, you know what, it's okay, we'll get through it.
100%. In fact, I was blessed and lucky to have a chat on Instagram with Raul, and you with Raul created pretty much the best of El Salvador. Would you take that idea and that sort of project elsewhere, to other origins?
Yeah. So with Alejandro, what we've done is we've decided to do best of El Salvador for the reason because there was no Cup of Excellence that particular year, and we have, as I mentioned, so many great farmers, great relationships, great friends, and I felt that we need to do something about this. So I called my friends in El Salvador and said, let's organize auction. They all loved the idea. I said, yeah, that's going to be great. Let's do best of El Salvador. It's going to be awesome. Farmers are going to be happy. Then I called Habib, a project manager. I said, Habib, you need to run an auction. I don't know how to do it because I've never done it, so don't ask me. But this is going to be your task, and this auction is going to happen in 6 months or whatever it was. And then a few weeks later, I told him, hey, I had a chat with Honduras friends, and we're going to do another auction in Honduras. So not one auction we ran two non-profit auctions in the same year. So that was I guess great when industry professionals get together when there's issue, there's a problem, and then we create something amazing of greater value. So yeah, it was a great time. We ran this auction for 2 years in El Salvador. Obviously, COE came back to El Salvador. It's strong, so we saw no reason for us to continue doing it. However, we continued running auction in Honduras because it's a late harvest auction. So Honduras is a very specific country where coffee is grown from December all the way till June. And our auction includes coffee that grow from April till June, which I believe are the best coffees in the country. And so that's kind of complementing the current auction because Cup of Excellence early harvest. And and unfortunately we canceled it this year due to the COVID-19. But yeah, hopefully we'll continue doing it from next year onwards.
Cool. No, thanks. I think that's brilliant what you did. And to break it up a little, I usually ask a out of the box question. Do you still play handball?
No, not at all. No, it's been a while.
Do you miss it?
I don't miss it. Actually, of course, I miss handball a lot. But when I stopped playing handball, I was 23 years old. I got a contract that I was supposed to take in Kuwait. I didn't take it. For quite a few years of my life, I was thinking, should I do it? Should I not? Did I make a mistake? Did I not? So handball is a little bit of unfinished business with me. And I cannot even watch game of handball anymore without feeling.
Yeah, right. There you go. I learned something extremely new. I like these out of the box questions.
Yeah.
Do you? All right, cool. Do you follow soccer as a good, European?
Yep, love soccer. Follow tennis, of course. Big fan of Novak Djokovic.
Of course.
Yeah. Basketball. Yeah.
And I see lots of elements because obviously, growing up in Italy in a small village, we all love our football, well, soccer as they call it here, but I can see you when you competed, but also you in general that, I don't know, there's a determination, there's a certain hunger that I see in the Balkan bloc players, Stankovic, Mihailovic, and there's a whole bunch of them. I don't know, I just really, I can see that sportsman almost application to coffee in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah, in a good way. I think we are in Balkans. We do get fiery as well, and especially when things are not going good, like it gets really bad. I'm lucky enough that I have that hunger from Balkans, of course, and it's there. But being a sportsman, we use it in a good way. We just want to be better, and we just want to win. Not necessarily we want to beat someone. We just want to win. And it's a more gentleman's win. And also, I mean, I lived in Australia now for 20 years, and some kind of bit of mix of that as well, that I feel I picked up best from my heritage, and I adapted best from what we have here in this beautiful country as well. And that's that fusion that obviously helps me to be hungry for the goals, to be really determined, to work really hard, to appreciate, respect, have the gratitude, but not to step over other people in order to reach success. So 100%,
and I think we've seen that in you, and it connects well with a question from Passionate about coffee. Roasting question, if you want to answer. How does Ona roast the coffee for milk?
Okay. So you mentioned earlier that I do everything and I'm a roaster as well. So I'll actually go back to that for a sec. I have not been roasting coffee since 2015. And I realized that it's not the field that I love doing. I love discussing roasting, talking to our roaster, Sam Cora. But he's so much better than me that I don't feel like I need to go in depth in that. We roast differently for espresso, for milk, and for filter. We've been doing it over the last quite a few years. So we kind of completely opposite of many people that are doing omni roast. We also feel that for every coffee, whether it's a wash process or natural process, whether it's a milk, espresso, or filter, we would approach these coffees differently in order to tailor and to get the expressions that we would like to. So if we'll roast coffee differently, if it's the Deborah Terra, because we just want to highlight the that acidity and the clarity, or our good friend from the Good Coffee Cup is now enjoying Deborah Indigo Symmetry, and Sammy roasted that particular coffee in order to highlight and the process carbonic maceration. So I'm sure he's now drinking a little bit of pineapple or some tropical fruits or some red fruits. And the way we roasted it is to really stretch the roast profile to make sure this shines, not necessarily allowing the florality, for example, to be stepping in. So it's very complicated for us, kind of complicated if the way I'm explaining it, but it's really simple. We're roasting for flavor. We don't, and we obviously have this big puzzle, this big vocabulary that we believe we'll need to do certain adjustments for that particular coffee, that style of coffee, in order to achieve that goal. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I did not say any specifics, but it's kind of impossible to say specifics.
I think sometimes answers like that are actually more helpful than very technical because it paints better the picture. Because sometimes we put certain elements on a pedestal, but like you said, you're chasing flavor, which is ultimately. I think the proof in the pudding was your eyes lit up when you mentioned pineapple and chocolate in regards to that coffee. Like I saw almost a connection between your brain and palate, and like, oh yeah, that's a good cup of coffee. So I think that flavor element just was there, just in your body language on how important that is for you. And something else that I really admire and look up, and it's inspiring, is aside from the amazing coffee, I'm all about people, and you have like a super squad of amazing, talented, hungry but humble people around you. Does that make you feel proud? Because obviously there is an element of them that they obviously want to work with you and for you. And I may have a few of them even on this little tiny show and other in real life. How much relevance has that?
No,
Becomes almost like an extended family.
it's a biggest joy, to be honest, to be able to to run with them for so many years and to go through good and bad together. And I always I've mentioned it a few times, when we look at employing someone in Honor Coffee, for us, values are most important. Personal values that we connect on a personal level. We look at the life in a similar way as well. Respect, being humble that you mentioned, it's really important for us in Honor. And then skills come secondary. Of course, passion for what they do. Like we want to make sure that our roaster is crazy passionate about roast, loves coffee, but he loves roasting. So we all have a different expertise and different skills, but we all should have the same value, and that's what we've been trying to breed over the last 10 years since Honor started. But I always say that when we do well, it's easy to have a great team. It's easy, when you lift up the trophy, 2015, everyone is happy. But, the most I've ever been proud of the team is now. And I don't say it often, and I did not maybe even think, but I think, yeah, I'm lucky that I have the best team in the world. And it's really tribute to their behavior in the last 2 months and last 6 weeks, and how much they look after each other even more. There's small pizza on the table, and we all share it together. And leaders eat last. That's how it's been done with the company. Like all of our leaders, they sort of, no, as long as stuff is okay, then we'll be fine afterwards. So yeah, I've been enjoying going on this economical war with them, and I'm sure that everyone a lot of people mention our team, but our team in last 6 weeks has gone better so much than and we've came closer to our destination last possibly 2 months, which is enriching people's lives, innovating, community aspects, being closer, and we've been closer family now than ever before. So it's been humbling, and quite a few times we had tears in my eyes. I said, "Wow, I'm so blessed to have to be surrounded with so many amazing hearts and souls in the company." So if any of them is listening, I'm thankful.
Oh, they will rewatch it. They're probably working now, but I can see lots of gratitude from you, and I think they're almost, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So, I'm sure they are just as grateful and humble as you are about yourself and be able to work for the Ona family,
Yeah, thank you. There was a question about Melbourne. Hopefully, we should be opening sometimes soon. We don't know when. But shop is finished. It's looking amazing. We're very happy. We're very proud. I should be heading there next Friday to few bits and pieces to kind of final checks, possibly. And sometimes within 4 to 6 weeks, we, depending on the restrictions, obviously, we will be looking at opening. We've decided that we don't want to open only with the takeaway concept. Because we put a lot of effort, a lot of love into this shop, and we'd love people to see to what we initially built it to be seen. So whenever restrictions allow us to be able to dine in, we'll be looking at opening them.
Yeah, and Dax is very happy about it. Dax, you and I are going to grab a cup there for sure in Brunswick. Yeah, I look forward to it. I've actually met with Devin and Tom at the site maybe about 3 or 4 months ago. And, it was empty. There was nothing in there. So it was, I'm very curious to see what's in there now, and looking forward to it. Are you going to come down to cut the ribbon with the scissor, or?
Yeah, of course. Luckily, I'm not going overseas anymore. I think I missed opening of last 3 shops that we opened up. I was somewhere like Sydney. I wasn't there. I think for High Road I wasn't there. But this one, I'm not gonna miss it. So that's a good thing about COVID as well. I'll be with the team more. So I'll definitely spend at least a week in Melbourne before we open and on opening week.
Cool. Look, before we run out of time, then we got other questions, but I really want to get this out. What's next on Sasha's planet?
Good one. Yeah, there's always a lot of things happening that are exciting. Some things that are on hold, but I would love to do, and they will be probably on hold next 2 or 3 months. We have a new movie that's coming up, Coffee Heroes. So that's really, really exciting. So hopefully we'll be able to show that towards the end of the year when time is right. Movie is sort of almost done, but we feel it's not right timing to do it now. So Jeff, our director, is going to decide what are the next steps there. I'd love to settle a little bit, make sure that everything is okay, team is okay, the farm is okay. Then I'd love to have a holiday, because I've been doing some crazy hours over the last 2 months and without having a day off. So family holiday somewhere where there's no internet, no Zoom, no Instagram for a week would be nice. And then most likely go with my original plan to start writing the book. I still would love to have that complete, whether it's going to be end of this year or a little bit late, I'm not sure. I have a couple new innovational projects that are happening, something new for the world. So hopefully this year they can be launched. And it's on the farm level as well as on a barista level. So really excited about them, but that's all on hold for now. I'm waiting for the right time to sort of engage with these things and sort of see them come to life. So
lucky we talked about balance. Seems a few projects in your hands.
Yeah, so it's all on hold. It's all on hold for now.
Well, talking about movies, Harold Castro says, "I watched your film, Sasha. Amazing. Thanks for putting together such great film." So,
thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. And I hope second one will be will be more enjoyable. And luckily, it's not that much about me only, which is a nice thing, because first film made me, to be honest, at the beginning a little bit uncomfortable as well. So, but I'm getting used to it now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think you're doing a fantastic job, and you know, you got 2 movies now. You're gonna have 2 books. You know, it's great. It's great. It's great to hear. I think also it shows other people that there's a lot more than just coffee, as in there's other avenues to explore and other ways to communicate to people. I think it's important. Communication. I get the question that I always get is, how can we improve and how can we take specialty to the next level and how can we grow it? And I think it comes down to communication, and how we communicate don't create a barrier between yourself and the person who drinks commercial coffee. I think that people don't like to get told what to do. So it's communication that we have between our friends, our family, our community, and how and which means we communicate that passion through, which in this case, books, movies, I think it's an untapped market for sure for many.
Yeah, it's a definitely good one. Like, I mean, we belong in the industry where we depend on each other. That's a fact. It's not fairy tale or, you know, philosophy. It is a black and white. We do depend on each other in order to make it work. So as long as, you know, if we all can look at our chain, supply chain, whatever it is, we all have a supply chain. And if we can look at that particular supply chain, and we have that philosophy that in order to reach success, we all need to work together. And with that view and that sort of point, we will communicate better. And it can be a simple fact, as is in a coffee shop, if there's a issue with barista, head barista and assistant barista, and there's no communication, that chain is already broken without even going back to the roaster. So we need to make sure that we internally have very healthy relationships, healthy communication, and we fight. Families fight, of course. We should fight, you know. But then we should also resolve these issues and move on and be stronger out of it. And then once it's strong in the shop, then we need to kind of have that same philosophy to go to roastery, to green supply, all the way to farm. And if you have that really strong communication, yeah, we'll definitely be able to go through, you know, any challenge in a lot easier way, in a lot better way as a team, rather than as an individual.
Yeah, there's a lot to digest and sink. That's gonna sink with a lot of people. Gonna rewatch that. Think that I'm gonna myself take a few minutes after the interview to think about that, on how do we want to communicate lots of things, for sure. This is a question again that I think that you got asked before, but like I know Daniel, he always pops in, and I appreciate. Hey Daniel, when we can see you again on the competition stage? Maybe barista definitely not. Let's clear that. So at least I don't want people to think that I'm tempted to do barista comp. No, not at all. I've done what I wanted to do, and I think I'm giving value the other way in the barista competitions, coaching and supporting, and probably greater value than competing myself. But maybe something else, possibly. We'll see. We don't know. Yeah. Look, I know that we just entered the last minute, and Instagram is really cutthroat when it comes to shut it all down, and I don't want that to be the case. I know you're a busy man, so I would never expect you to stay another hour, even though I'm sure we could very easily talk another hour. But I just want to say thank you. I'm feeling very grateful about you giving us an hour of your time, sharing your stories, your knowledge, your experience. So yeah, thank you very much, Sasha. Is there anything that you left off the table that you want to kind of leave us with?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to thank you for doing what you're doing for us, for the industry. It's been great that you've managed to organize a lot of coffee professionals to talk about, and I'd love to thank you for your time. I think you're inspiring and helping and supporting many coffee professionals by making this happen. and yeah, very thankful. I did listen to a few of your podcasts, and I have enjoyed listening, and gave me kind of a lot of energy to do what I do. I'd love to thank everyone listening and being part of this network. And yeah, we'll get through this together, and I'm sure that yeah.
Got 5 seconds, but yeah, thank you, Sasha. That's amazing.